Usisahau kusubscribe, kucomment, kulike na kushare ili kuwa kwanza kupata habari mbalimbali kutoka Dar24 Media.
Tabo unjani?
Nkona kunjani?
Nyapila wewe unjani?
I'm impressed, you know language, Nyapil.
I'm just leaving.
Asante.
Asante. You're most welcome in Tanzania.
Thank you very much.
Tabo, what did you like the most in Tanzania?
The weather, definitely. It's a bit of a more summer. It's very cold in South Africa. I think this morning when I woke up, it was 2 degrees in South Africa. It was 23 degrees in Tanzania. The food's quite good. I like the cuisine. I like chapati and soup. I think I enjoy that quite often. It was my breakfast. It's very strange to have mbuzi for breakfast, but it was good, yeah.
I saw you on your WhatsApp status, you post Mzuri.
Yeah, I can't remember what that means.
Mzuri, just like a beautiful.
Oh yes, yes.
So, people, they say that in Tanzania you can walk night by night rather than South Africa.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Very strange one. I always say, I traveled quite a few African countries, and I felt safer in other African countries than I feel in SA. People are very calm. There is no rush, and you tend to feel safe. That's 100% correct.
Let's go back to the football issues. First of all, tell me a little bit about the football influence here in Tanzania.
Well, I don't know much about Tanzanian football. I just supported them on the day when they were playing Niger, and I picked the right team and they won. I don't see a lot of Tanzanian players in SA. Maybe I'm not following them very well, but they definitely don't play for the bigger teams or the so-called big three we have. Maybe
we have Abdi Banda there at Chip United.
I learned, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Maybe I don't follow them too much. Maybe I will start doing so now. Yeah.
So you're a fan of Mamelod Sundowns. We just want to know about the short background history of Mamelod.
Well, one of the teams, or one of the big teams today now, maybe not in terms of numbers in support. Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates are traditionally big teams, and they still carry a big support base. They've done well over the years to the supports, but yes, Mamelodi Sundowns has been coming up over the last, I'd say, the last 10 to 5 years, maybe behind the back door. And of course, there is it stems from when Zola Mahobe took over the team. He did very well in following the latest trends of the football. And Natasha Chiklas took over the team, and they did very well in spending and making sure that the team becomes the top tier. And then, of course, Mr. Petrus Motsepe bought the team from the Chiklas family. And he's up the game, if you could put it. You sort of put it into a European standard as a bar to get to, and he's done very well over the years. Probably say in the last 10 years, I would say, yeah, because he's made a team more professional. The technical team it's got football people in it, so they drive the team and into the right direction, and I think it's shown over the last 5 or 8 years, because Mamelodi Sundowns has competed in the CAF Champions League without fail for the last 5 years. I think they finished in the quarterfinals, and of course the last one we saw, they finished in the semi-final. So we're moving in the right direction.
In last season, what went wrong?
Well, I don't think it's easy to blame one player and say he scored their own goal and then we're out of the Champions League, but I don't think that's the reason. In fact, by the way, the same player had a very, very good game on the day. One mishap, maybe lack of concentration. He scored an own goal and we were out. But generally, I wouldn't say anything went wrong. The team played very well. They didn't lose any game during the tournament. That's obviously a good sign. It's okay. Again, it's strange. You know, the best team that didn't win, that didn't lose any game, are actually not in the final or didn't participate in the final. But yeah, the guys will go back to the drawing board, dust themselves up. I think it's a good thing. In fact, for me, if nothing has went wrong, if anything that happened in the last game against Wydad, it's a wake-up call that the game is 90 minutes. Plus the referee's optional time, so you have to play till the last whistle.
So you said the guy will go back to the drawing board, but tell us, we know in the football clubs they work as a team, but there is some masterminds. Who are the masterminds of the Mamelodi Sundowns?
From on a playing field, of course, I mean the team works very well together, but yes, you've got some star players in there now. I mean Themba Zwane is probably the orchestra or the conductor of the orchestra. And the captain. Ronwen at the back, I mean, as a goalkeeper, is doing a fantastic job. I mean, he's grown leaps and bounds since joining Mamelodi Sundowns. Of course, I mean, we've got a coaching team that's a three-quartet, being Mangoba, Rulane being the head coach, Mangoba and Steve Kompela assisting him. And I suppose we never see the team when they're preparing, but I think they do well. I wouldn't like to single any player and say this player and that player is doing better than the other player. But yes, we do have a conductor in Themba Zwane.
Thabo, always the football started from the grassroots. So how have Mamelodi been able to invest in your soccer and have many centers in the country?
I think how they've managed to do that is you've got a president that's not afraid to open up the purse. That's probably the first thing that you need, because unfortunately we are in a modern game and you have to open up the purse to be able to invest. I know now they co-joined in the sports science, so they concentrate even more not only on the playing side of the player, but in the development side of the player, what he eats. How do they need to develop an individual to be able to compete? So, and they do that throughout the whole team, starting from the juniors. And I think that in the future, we're going to see the conveyor belt of Mamelodi Sundowns starting to come through because of all those investments.
So, is investment in youth profitable in terms of promoting players to senior teams and also doing business with other clubs?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you look at it, we've brought in some couple of players from the youth. One, probably the shining star at the moment, is Cassius Mailula. He's a joint top goal scorer on the CAF, and I think he's only 20 or 21 years old. There's another boy as well, I forgot his name, but his surname is Kiongozi. He also comes in from the youth setup. Yeah, we've done good business. I mean, we've done good business with Themba Zwane. We also got him from a small team. They've done very excellent business from the Super Sport, which is next door from Mamelodi Sundowns. So yes, the synergies between the other club is working well.
And what was the motive to formulate Sundowns technical bench setup?
I think the motive is to take over Africa and become the #1 team in Africa. That's the goal. And I don't think Mamelodi Sundowns is far from that from that goal. Ahly used to be the feared team in Africa, but I think Ahly are scared to come to South Africa. They probably don't want to board on that plane because they know that they're not going to win in South Africa. So, yes, so the goal is to become the most feared team and the #1 team in Africa.
What would the management think about hiring coaches with similar qualifications and have been able to afford to stay with them?
Beef up your technical team, because everything happens in the background. In the field of play, you've only got 95 minutes plus referee's team. But during the week, you've got the technical team that needs to be strong, motivate, train, coach. So I think it's a good thing. I mean, we see it again, like I said, you see it in Europe as well. I mean, there was a time where Man City had Arteta and Pep Guardiola in one team, and equally capable coaches.
Thanks, Zulu. And what is Sundown's strength in scouting based on?
I think the Sundowns' strength in scouting is, one, they've hired ex-Mamelodi Sundowns players who did very well for Mamelodi Sundowns. And I mean, we've seen at the youth cups, Mamelodi Sundowns was there to scout. So I think the strength in having more scouts traveling the country and the continent and maybe even abroad has been a big strength. I mean, we can see in the shape of Alande that we got that, yeah, the Mamelodi Sundowns doesn't bring players just because they're players, they bring exceptional players.
And Sundowns have been able to find good players at the right age and been the catalyst for Sundowns' success, which route differentiates them from there.
Look, unfortunately, football now is for the youth, so you got to have a view of recruiting young and have an average age of probably about 23 so that you can build them up to start winning around about 25. It's a short career, so they probably extend at the age of 30.
Mengi ambayo tumezungumza ni kuhusiana na mpira, kuhusiana na klabu yake ya Mamelod Sundowns. Mimi naitwa Somba, mwanzangu nyuma kamera anaitwa Festo Rumwe. Shukrani sana kwa kuendelea kutufuatilia, lakini salute mwanangu King Salu Mpelembo kwa assist yako ya nguvu na kutosha. Mpaka wakati ujao, bye bye.
Usisahau kusubscribe, kucomment, kulike na kushare ili kuwa wa kwanza kupata habari mbalimbali kutoka Dar24 Media.